Let's send it down to Brendan Parker and Chris Wahl with tonight's Flames TV postgame show presented by Original 16.
Original 16, a great way to celebrate things done well.
Hello and welcome inside Flames Postgame Live. It is brought to you by Original 16, as it always is on this fine night here at the Scotiabank Saddledome, and making his Flames TV debut here, as well as Chris Wahl joining the desk. And what a night to do it on, as the Calgary Flames come from behind for the 10th time this season and pick up a victory thanks to a huge third period. 4-1 the final over the visiting Vegas Golden Knights. And talked a little bit about this morning and about responses. Obviously 3 tough losses over the course of the last number of days here. And, you know, to a man, everybody was talking about kind of putting together a group effort here tonight, and fair to say they got it here against the defending champs.
Yeah, and another comeback, right? And it's something that's been kind of the theme with this team for a good chunk of the season. And again, it's, you know, some of the leaders. We were hearing from guys like Mackenzie Weegar off the top this morning saying that they wanted a bit of a reset, a little bit of a, you know, a clean slate after a run of tough performances and tough outings. But, you know, tonight it was those guys who were carrying the mail for this group. You look at the backline line, I'm sure we'll talk about that over the course of the night.
Sure.
And then, you know, just finding ways to get pucks on the net and get, you know, high quality opportunities, especially in that third period, to secure 2 valuable points.
Interesting night, too, the way that it starts to develop, because, you know, a scoreless first period, and you know, I think for the better part of that period, you look at the Flames and the you know, the effort that they put on the ice. It probably looked like the better team, but you leave it scoreless, and then, you know, kind of plays that same way out in the second period, and then it's not until the late stages of that second period that they get that goal. The Vegas gets the go-ahead goal, and you know, I think you heard from Kevin Rooney in the second intermission just about sticking with it. They felt really good about their game, and it didn't seem to deter them on a night like this tonight.
No, and you know, they came right out in the third period and just stuck to the game plan and stuck to what has worked when they've found success this season. And you know, you look at, again, the backline line. You look at Nazem Kadri, who, you know, playing with Jonathan Huberdeau tonight for the first time in a while, was all over the ice creating things and ended up having an assist on a pretty big goal in the third period as well. So, you know, again, it was the guys that are trusted to be leaders in this group who stood out.
Well, let's go through the goals here tonight. Take a look at the highlights, and there wasn't much in terms of offense until the late stages of that second period, and that's when Vegas gets on the board first, and it comes courtesy Anthony Mantha. This is the one that has a little bit of a turnover behind the net, and obviously got a newcomer into the lineup in Anthony Mantha, and this is why they bring him in, finish off plays like that.
Yeah, and you know, first goal is a golden night for Anthony Mantha. A tough turnover behind the net that, you know, again, there weren't many of them tonight from the Flames, but
that one they capitalize on.
Vegas is a team that'll capitalize on those opportunities if you give them to.
Yeah, no question about it. 21 on the year for Anthony Mantha, but then you go into the third period, and we talked about it right off the top. The Flames felt pretty good about their game through 40, and they end up getting rewarded for it, and Yegor Sharangovich gets the party started offensively here.
And he's been hot, and, you know, it was a case of finding space in the middle of the ice for Sharangovich, and maybe not the most high percentage, you know, high quality, high velocity shot.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
But it found a way to kind of roll up the stick of Aiden Hill and over his right shoulder into the back of the net.
Maybe a little bit of a knuckleball put in there, and then this was maybe the turning point of the hockey game, and it comes on the breakaway stop on Barbashev, and Dustin Wolf stands his ground, and it literally comes right back up the ice, as it so often does, and finished at the other end by Blake Coleman.
Yeah, and it's almost the type of play that you would see in an overtime, where you have a chance at one end and a quality chance that leads to a goal at the other. And Dustin Wolf deserves a lot of credit for making that save off Barbashev, but then it's Kadri, who we talked about, centering Blake Coleman, who just goes to the net, makes a simple hockey play, and makes it 2-1.
27 on the season for Coleman, and then this is the insurance marker, and it's done with some nice work, tidy work through the neutral zone. Dryden Hunt sets up Matt Coronado for his second of the season.
And that's got to be a huge goal for Coronado, right? He's a point-a-game guy in the American League, but has struggled maybe to find a bit of consistency at the NHL level in this his rookie pro season, but a picture-perfect shot after a delicious pass across the zone by Hunt.
And we'll round it out with the empty net, and Blake Coleman kind of keeping pace with Sharon Govich for the team lead in goals, and gets to the red line and deposits that. 28 on the season for him, 28 for Sharon Govich. More importantly for the Calgary Flames, that'll go in the books as a 4-1 come-from-behind win, 10th of the season when trailing. Actually, trailing at some point in the third period. It goes down as a third-period comeback win, but again, impressive third period from this group.
Yeah, and we haven't even really touched on the performance by Dustin Wolf in goal.
Sure.
28 saves, and really, you know, he's coming off a performance at this level that I'm sure he would have loved to have back. And to come back and be able to bounce back the way he did tonight, I mean, that speaks a lot to his maturity, his character, and you know, you look at some of these saves, Brendan, it just seemed like he was in the right position on a lot of the chances that came his way tonight. There weren't a ton of rebounds, weren't a ton of secondary scoring chances for the Golden Knights tonight, and really just a calm, cool, collected effort from Wolf.
No question, and we'll obviously go back to the breakaway stop there a number of times, and there was a couple of good ones throughout the course of this night. And it ends up being 28 saves when it's all said and done. We'll hear from Dustin Wolf in a moment, but first star performance tonight, and he was sensational as picks up his second victory of the season and third in the National Hockey League. That's the first star, and then we're pleased to welcome in the second star here tonight, and that's Dryden Hunt. I think we've done this a couple of times, but it's got to feel good. I know, listen, we talked to a number of guys throughout the course of the last couple of days, and it was, you know, I think everybody kind of had the same theme. It was about bouncing back, and you know, I know you didn't get the offense early in this game, but it felt like, you know, it looked the way that you guys play right from the get-go here tonight.
Yeah, I think that was what was special about the game is, you know, it didn't happen right away, and we just kind of stuck with it. It could have gone two ways. I mean, like you've seen, we've had some good starts the last couple of games, and starts where we haven't liked, and it just kind of got away from us. And then tonight we just stuck with it, and you know, kudos to Wolfie. He played unbelievable.
Yeah.
Got a couple of huge saves when we needed it, and we kind of built off that. And then, yeah, it was a pretty special ending, I guess.
Gotta love that moment just before the Wolf breakaway save, obviously, and that's hockey, isn't it? I mean, so often you get a huge save at one end, and then you go back and score a big goal at the other end.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I talked to Matty when he made that save. I was like, that's vintage Wolfie. Like, we've seen that a million times from Wolfie, and that gives the team a boost. And yeah, it was fun to see him play so well.
For sure.
It's always tough to give up goals late in periods, and you guys did tonight, obviously late in the second period, but it didn't seem like that phased you. I mean, just maybe speak to just the belief that you guys had even when you went into that third period down a goal.
Yeah, I think that was just another stepping stone to, you know, what we're building, I guess. Like I said, the last couple of games, they score like that, and like I said, it could have gone two ways. So it was nice that we learned from our mistakes of the last couple of games, and pretty big third period there.
Speaking of vintage, Matty Coronado with that release, and man, I don't know, he found that seam going back across the grain there to him. I don't know what you were seeing, kind of eyes in the back of the head a little bit, but maybe take me through that sequence.
Yeah, I think just, you know, you build chemistry with the guy over time, and we played a lot of games together with the Wranglers, and it's a lot of fun playing with him. You just got to put it on a stick, and you saw the release tonight. Like, that's Matty there in a nutshell. So anytime you can get on a stick there and, you know, look at him put it over the shoulder like that, it's pretty special to watch, and it's been fun playing with him tonight.
4 points for you now in your last 5 games, Dryden, and you know, playing with different line mates, it seems almost every night. Maybe just take us through how you've been feeling kind of on an individual level, and maybe some of the confidence you have when the puck's on your stick.
Yeah, I think it's nice when you start getting rewarded, I guess. You know, you start scoring, you feel like you're contributing a little bit more every night. It's nice to bring energy and playing the fourth line and forecheck and do all those things, but when you start contributing, you just feel more a part of the wins and, you know, even the losses, and you just feel more a part of the team. So nice to see the puck finally go in. You know, a couple of assists where guys have great shots, and it's just fun to be playing with Matty and Sharon tonight.
Good stuff, bud. Appreciate the time. Couple of nice helpers tonight, and big win. Enjoy it.
Guys. Appreciate it.
Dryden Hunt stopping by the Flames TV desk, and a big win for the Calgary Flames. 4-1 the final over the Vegas Golden Knights, and another third period come from behind win. Well said there by Dryden, too, just about the position they're in middle of this game, and it could go one of two ways, as he put it. And fortunately for the Calgary Flames, it went the way that they were looking for, which is a victory. Let's go inside the Calgary Flames locker room. Let's hear from another one of the stars tonight, I think, or maybe he wasn't even part of the stars, but he could have very well been. He was a 2-goal performer, Blake Coleman, one of those stars, third star tonight.
Well, what was the difference to beating the champs tonight after a few games that didn't go your way? Why was it different tonight?
Just a good response. I thought everybody, for whatever reason, I think, the trade deadline, the travel, whatever it was, just kind of loomed heavy on our group a little bit, and we were all pretty disappointed with the way the last few games went, and you know, we've had some good look in the mirror meetings here in the last 24 hours, and I thought everybody to a man responded really well, and all around it was a good team game.
And your goaltender looked pretty comfortable back there.
Yeah, made the big saves when we needed them. You get the breakaway save when it's still a tie game there, and saves like that give you confidence, and you know, we go down and score 2 right away. So you know, I thought he looked really calm and really good today.
What was the message during those look in the mirror meetings from the leadership to the rest of the group?
Well, it was an embarrassing 72 hours for our team, and you know, like I said, we're maybe didn't handle our response to losing some guys and some friends. Maybe wasn't the best, and we got slapped pretty hard for not showing up and being our best. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, if you got pride and you get beat up like that, you better respond, or you don't really belong in this league. So you know, we've got a lot of guys that we're not happy with, like I said, with the last few games, and everybody stepped up and was much better and was who we expect them to be. And you know, the young guys played well as well, and get a big goal from Maddie, and nice play from Hunsey there too. So like I said, I thought to a man it was better.
Blake, can you take us through, like, through your eyes, that sort of 13 seconds starting with the breakaway and ending with your goal, how you saw that all transpire?
Well, like I said, I think, you know, they get a great look, and the game maybe ends completely different if Wolfie doesn't make that save, and didn't ever look like it even had a chance. He stayed right with him, and he looked very confident today, like I said. And sometimes when your goalie you know, shows that level of confidence, it goes right through the group. And you know, like you said, we come right back down, and Naz makes a good play. I go top corner, and we're up 2-1. So
Easy game.
That sounds exactly like it.
yeah. Isn't that how it looked? No?
What was the difference for you guys in the third period? It seemed like you were around it for the first 2 periods, couldn't get rewarded. What changed in the third?
Nothing. You know, I think everybody in the room was pretty happy, honestly, after both intermissions. I thought, you know, we were playing a great game, and you know, they get a goal, but you know, I was impressed by you know, with the way things had been going. Nobody was shaken by it. We were down a goal, but nobody felt like we were out of the game. We felt like we were playing the right way, and if we stuck with it, got a little bit harder in the dirty areas, that we'd come back, and we did.
What are your impressions of Dustin Wolf's personality and his composure?
Yeah, he certainly doesn't lack confidence. You know, I think he's excelled everywhere he's been that I'm aware of in his career, and you know, he carries himself, I imagine, the same way he does everywhere else. You know, in our room, he doesn't change. Goalies are goalies. You know, I'll leave that where that is. But he's a good kid. He works really, really hard. And like I said, I think, you know, the way he looked tonight, it gives the group a lot of confidence in front of him.
Ryan Huska talked this morning about your line and about how you guys are always sort of relied on to set the tempo. Do you feel that even more right now with this new group? I mean, you got to show these guys what this organization and this team's about.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we were, you know, me and Bax, Mange obviously was out sick, but we were disappointed with the way we had played in the last couple games, and you know, we do have a lot of guys that are looking to us now to be the benchmark of how we're going to play as a team, and you know, we knew we had to get back to that level, and I thought tonight was a step in the right direction. Obviously helps getting a little guy back in the lineup with us, but you know, I think our role won't necessarily change in the sense that we've always played hard minutes against top lines, and you know, at the end of the day, we're expected to shut guys down like that. But you know, I think it's just the way that we come to the rink, prepare, and show the right way to be a pro.
I know it's empty netter, but it was long distance. Did you know when it left the stick that it was going in?
I'm pretty good when the goalie's out.
Do you want us to say that was top shelf too?
That's amazing.
Thanks, Blake.
All right.
Boy, much different tone around the postgame, obviously, tonight. And, boy, you talk about veteran leadership, and I think that was kind of the expectation here coming into tonight. And I think we saw it on display there. Said some pretty interesting meetings over the last couple of days to get ready for this one, and obviously put their best foot forward. I said an embarrassing 72 hours, and, boy, they showed it tonight, didn't they?
Yeah, and you talk about the reset. You talk about Ryan Huska even saying this morning that, to paraphrase, the leaders needed to be who he has entrusted them to be and who they've become over the course of their career and have been this year. And the work rate right from the drop of the puck tonight was there. I mean, you look at the first 5 minutes of the game, they didn't come up with a goal, but they were out shooting Vegas 7-1 through the first 5.5 minutes of the first period. And really, they didn't let up. And were rewarded for it. And I think that goes a long way, because there have been nights this season where they haven't been rewarded when they have put this kind of effort forward.
Yeah, he was asked what changed in between the second and the third period, and the simple answer to that from Blake Coleman was nothing, and that's a good sign. All right, let's go back inside the Calgary Flames locker room. Heard obviously veterans play a big role in this hockey game. Coleman gets a couple of points, a couple of goals. That Backlund-Mangiapane line was sensational, but also some contributions from the young guys, including Dustin Wolf, who gets his third NHL win here tonight.
Dustin, what's your assessment of how you played today?
A win for sure. The team was excellent out there from start to finish. A much more complete game than what we've seen the last couple, and they let me see pucks, and if I could see pucks, I'm gonna stop most of them.
What did you see on that breakaway from Barbashev?
He kind of threaded the needle between our D, and I thought he probably made a little too many stick handles, and I just tried to stay on my feet and stick with him, and it worked out.
How neat is it to win against the defending Stanley Cup champions? I imagine that's something you just maybe thought about as a kid. How does it feel to look at it now?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Obviously, didn't get the result against them earlier in the year, and it was nice to get a second chance and play the way I did, and also have the team play awesome in front of me.
We know the last game for you up here didn't go the way that you would have wanted. How does it feel to come back and get the W against, again, this team?
Yeah, I think, like I've always said, there's learning opportunities to come out of a loss, and especially one where you get banged up pretty good. And, I went down, and obviously I didn't really get the results down there as well. But you know what? Just kept working. We found a couple of things that I wanted to get better at, and I thought a couple of those things showed out pretty well tonight.
When you make a save like you did on the breakaway, can you just describe the feeling 13 seconds later when it's in the net at the other end? Just what that does for a goalie's psyche?
Yeah, I mean, it feels good. Obviously, that's the game of hockey, right? You get a save at one end and a goal at the other. That kind of happens more often than you think, and a pretty pivotal moment in the game where I was just trying to stay as dialed in as I could, and things just worked out perfectly.
Thanks, Will.
Yep.
Thanks, Dustin.
Just try to stay dialed in, and things work out perfectly. That's some nice parting words there from the goaltender Dustin Wolf. 28 saves, the victory here tonight, and obviously talking specifically about that breakaway stop that ends up being a pivotal moment in this hockey game. And maybe if we can for a moment, let's turn the conversation to obviously heard from some of the younger contributors. We saw Matt Coronado, we see Dustin Wolf, but the vets and the role they played in this hockey game, specifically that line of Michael Backlund, Andrew Mangiapane, and Blake Coleman with a pair of goals.
Yeah, and they were going off the jump, and you look over the course of the season, they've been the line that's been a constant for this team, right? You tossed all the other lines in the blender over the course of the season, but 88, 11, and 20 have been together for the better part of 30, 35 games now, and it's just the work rate. Again, look at this, digging pucks out of the corners, creating opportunities. Backlund, using his feet, moving through the neutral zone. Probably had a little bit more time there than he originally thought on that long slap shot, but you know what? They certainly were all over the puck tonight, all over the play in the offensive zone, Brendan. And again, a big part of the reason why this team got back in the win column tonight. Yeah,
it was good stuff all throughout. You see the goal there in the third period that helps springboard things right after that breakaway stop that we talked about. Then the empty netter to seal things out, but three goals excluding that empty netter, and then 4 to put it away in the third period. And let's now go to the insurance marker. That was Matt Coronado, his second of the season, and he's standing by now.
I feel like maybe your most... Benny? That feel like maybe your most complete game at the NHL level?
Maybe. I think as a group we had a really good start, and I think kind of carried it all the way through. So when the team's playing well, I think more things go well.
But did you personally feel like that was, close to the level you needed to be playing?
Yeah, I think I'm just want to keep getting better. Just want to probably look to build off that.
You obviously scored a nice one. I just got to ask, Dryden Hunt felt like he pulled half their team to him and created all that space. Just what did you see from him being in the play?
Unbelievable, yeah. He beat the first guy at the blue line, and then I honestly didn't even know if he saw me or not. He kind of was going that way and wasn't looking, threw it back right on my tape. So it was a great play by him.
And you guys have some of that chemistry going back to the Wranglers, right? You guys have spent a lot of time on the line together, so it's going to be comforting having him around here too.
Definitely, he's a great guy to play with. Plays the game the right way, plays hard, wins battles. So I love playing with him, whether it's with the Wranglers or here.
What does it do on the bench when Dustin makes that save on the breakaway?
It's huge. He played unbelievable tonight, so I'm really happy for him, and he kept us in it all night. But that save was huge, and I think it kind of helps with the momentum for sure.
And you've seen that a million times, I'm sure, down with the Wranglers, where he makes a big save and it ends up in the other net.
Definitely, yeah. He's full of big saves, and that was a huge one.
Matthew, how different is your game now compared to the last time you were called up?
I don't know. I think, like I said, I'm trying to learn and trying to improve every day that I show up at the rink. Focused on the defensive side of the game a lot and trying to be good there. So just trying to build and keep improving.
When you're a guy who's made your reputation on scoring goals, what can tonight's game and getting a big one tonight do for you moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, the number one thing I think is always go in and do what I can to help the team win. That's what I want to do, but it's always nice to produce and help the team in that way. So like I've kind of said, I just want to build off it and keep getting better and see where it goes from here.
Just to go back to the Wolf save, Coleman scores right away after that. It's basically end to end. Is that the same at every level of hockey, or just a moment like that can change a game?
Yeah, I think like when there's a lot of transition, it goes back and forth. It tends to happen a lot, but that was a great play by Naz there to get it off the wall and in front. But yeah, like I said, the save was huge, and it can result in something like that quickly.
Okay, thanks, Rob.
Thanks.
Original 16, a great way to celebrate things done well.
Welcome back inside Flames Postgame Live. It's brought to you by Original 16, resetting a Calgary Flames 4-1 victory here tonight over the Vegas Golden Knights. Fourth and final head-to-head meeting between these two teams this season, and the Flames come out on the high side of things, 3 out of 4 in the victory column. So they take the victory here tonight and snap that 3-game losing streak. Let's go now and hear to the press conference room and hear from the head coach of the Calgary Flames. Here's Ryan Huska following the 4-1 win.
What does it do for your team when you see a save that big at a crucial time of the game?
Yeah, it was the turning point, I thought, for sure. Like, I mean, you don't like seeing that happen. It was a bit of a tough change on our part. And he bailed us out, and then for us to go right back down and score, it was the difference in the game, in my opinion.
What did you see from that young goalie tonight that really impressed you?
He played the way we've seen him play in the past. He was confident, and I felt like his reads were on tonight, and that allowed him to make some of those, cross ice or, seam saves that he made tonight. Early on, I don't think he was all that busy. I thought our guys in front of him did a really good job with their sticks and blocking shots, and he didn't have to make a lot of saves, which was maybe more important for me as the team played the right way tonight.
What does it say about this team to come off of 3 horrific games and do this to the defending champions?
I don't like to use that word. I mean, we got away a little bit from the way we've started to learn how to play, and if you come to the rink not in the right mindset for our team anyways, we can't rely on one person, so we have to have a really good team game, and that slipped a little bit, and I was I was more than pleased with a group of 6 or 7 of our players tonight, the older guys that I felt really stepped up, and they led tonight, and that's what you want to keep seeing.
That first half of the game where Dustin Wolf wasn't as busy, what was the biggest reason why that was? Was it just the execution on what was going on with the defensive game plan? How would you explain it?
No, I think it was just a better connection. We did a much better job of coming back to our own zone hard as a group of forwards, so we didn't give them the room. And if you don't give good players, good teams room, you force them to dump the puck in, and I thought we did that a lot tonight. So the games where we struggle, we aren't connected, we're a little bit loose, and there's too much room on the ice. But the way we played tonight, there was a real good connection between our forwards and D.
The last time Dustin Wolf was here, we saw him in that loss against San Jose.
Yeah.
It wasn't completely his fault, but we could tell in the media after he took it pretty tough.
Yeah.
How does it feel to see him have that performance tonight against Vegas? And obviously it's a complete 180 from what we saw from him a couple days earlier.
Well, like I said before, Dustin did a good job for us in the net, but for me it was more about the response that we got from our entire group, right? So this wasn't a one-person night for me. This was the whole collective night where I thought we were good from start to finish, and I thought our work ethic was where it needed to be, and I thought there was a great connection.
It seemed like your group had a lot of zone time and chances the first 2 periods and just couldn't get rewarded. What changed for you guys in the third?
You stick with it. I mean, they do things well on the other side too, and their guys make saves. And I think if you stick with, there's certain nights where you want to make some adjustments because things aren't working. There's other nights where you feel like eventually if we continue to play this way, something's going to go for us. Tonight was one of those nights. So we just wanted them to keep doing what they were doing.
Dryden's night, maybe a bit about what he has to do to maintain up at an NHL level.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked a lot about Dryden over the last little while, because he is the guy that right now we can move up and down the lineup. So sometimes he's in a 4th line role where the expectation is there'll be no chances against, and you'll be a hard guy to play against. Sometimes he's bumped up to a line like he was tonight, where we feel he has a good skill set to go along with a little bit of edge that. On a line with Sharon and Maddie, we felt like that was important for us to have someone that would be hard on pucks and be strong and know how to get a puck out but still be able to make plays. And I think he was a big reason why Maddie scored. It was the second effort on that as well. So he's got a little bit of both. So it's a package that we feel we can utilize him in a lot of different ways.
What specifically for you tonight was going to be most telling after a few tough ones in a row?
Well, for me, I always look at how hard our forwards come back into our own zone early on. And if you have not just 1 or 2 guys doing it, line after line doing it, then I have a good feeling that the guys are going to play the right way. So that for me is the tell all the time.
You talked about everyone playing the right way, but I think it's human nature that we kind of need to be shown that what we're doing is working. So is there just these guys may have needed, there's new players, there's new faces, they may have needed to see that doing it together and putting in the work together would yield results. Is that fair?
Sure. I mean, I think by now our guys, even the guys that are just brought into our room, they all understand how we have to play to have success. So if we deviate from it much at all, then it doesn't work for our team. So I just like the way they are when you have a complete game, and they know it, and that's the most important thing for me is that they know it. They know when they played well, and they know why we had success, which is maybe more important.
Ryan, Blake said they had like a meeting just talking about the past 72 hours. How good has it been to rely on the likes of Blake to get your message across to the players?
Yeah, as I mentioned, there were 7 of them that we leaned on a little bit and had a good conversation with, and they were the guys that showed up for us tonight. And really, it's no surprise for me. They've been that way all year. So you come through tough times at certain portions of the season, and you expect your leaders to be your best players, and tonight was another example of that.
And what was the message for you during that conversation today?
It's just stuff that we keep inside.
Right, and understanding that Coronato's been working on sort of
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff other than the offense. What do you think it does for him to get another one at this level?
Well, he's going to feel good about himself for sure. Maddie, we talked this morning about guys, they're trying to find their way and grab hold of being an NHL player all the time, and Maddie's in that category as well. So the part that I like about him is he is a student. He wants to be better in a lot of different areas. So he's trying to improve his defensive side of the game. And if he's able to generate and get a few goals along the way, then that's going to kind of allow him to feel, I think it'll let him feel pretty good about, I can do my job at this end and yet I can still score at the other end, because he has a great release like we saw tonight. And at that time of the game, I was happy to see him score for sure. Okay, thanks, guys.
We're covering off a number of topics there with the head coach Ryan Huska, all the way from the way the game evolution of the game to veterans and what he thought of how they established their presence early on, and then finishing with some topics on Dryden Hunt and Matt Coronado in there as well. So really the full gamut. But most importantly is the Flames kind of get back to what they've done so well most of the season, and that's led by the veterans, but just a hard-working team that found a way to kind of play pretty efficient 60-minute here.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot about identity over the course of the season, and that's it. The hardworking team that, you know, especially now with some new, younger faces in the lineup, it's going to be those older guys that are going to lead the way and kind of show these new faces how things are done here over the rest of the final, 16 games of the season. Yeah. And again, it's a night where the Flames play, perhaps, could you say, up to the level of their opponent? You're looking at the defending Stanley Cup champions coming in here, and you know, Flames outmatched them, outworked them, outscored them in the end, and again, managed to pick up 2 points in the standings against a pretty good opponent.
For sure, and obviously right back into the win column, and played some pretty good hockey up until that 3-game stretch that finished with Colorado on Tuesday night. But what a bounce back here this evening from start to finish. It didn't start with the goals, but they all came in the final frame, and they got them when they needed them most. And it results in a 4-1 victory here tonight over the Vegas Golden Knights to round out the head-to-head matchup against the Knights. And now it's on to the Montreal Canadiens. It's a 5 o'clock start Saturday night against an Original Six opponent as the homestand rolls along. Montreal and Calgary on Saturday night before the homestand finishes up against Washington on Monday night. Thanks for watching Flames Postgame Live, brought to you by Original 16. We'll see you on Saturday night.